Imagine this. You wake up at dawn, the sky still dark. You check your phone, 47 unread messages, 3 overdue projects, a calendar packed with back-to-back meetings. You tell yourself, today I'll finally catch up. But deep down, you know the truth. You've been saying this for years. You rush through breakfast, skip the book you've been meaning to read, and promise yourself, later, you'll exercise later. You'll call your parents later. You'll pursue that dream later. Then, as you're stuck in traffic, a chilling thought creeps in. What if later never comes? You are richer than kings of antiquity. You have technology they couldn't fathom, comforts they'd consider divine. Yet why do you feel poorer in the one currency that matters? Time. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher who tutored Nero, saw this paradox 2,000 years ago. Life is long if you know how to use it. But here's the contradiction. We live in an age of time-saving miracles, yet we're more starved for time than ever. We outsource chores to apps, yet binge-watch mindless content. We track productivity down to the minute, yet lose hours to trivial distractions. We've conquered distance with jets, yet still postpone what matters most. Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt truly in control of your days? How much of your life is spent preparing to live rather than living? What if your relationship with time isn't a logistical problem, but a psychological one? Modernity has weaponized urgency. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor, mistaking motion for progress. But Seneca saw through this. You are living as if destined to live forever. You waste time as if it were drawn from a plentiful spring, though all the while that day which you devote to someone or something may be your last. The terrifying truth? You are dying right now. Not in some distant future, today. Every second ticks you closer to the end. Yet we act like immortal gods, hoarding experiences for a hypothetical tomorrow. This is where the real discomfort begins. Because if time isn't the problem, your perception of it is, then what's the solution? Is there a way to stop chasing time and start commanding it? Can you reclaim your days without abandoning modern life? And most crucially, what would Seneca do? The answer lies not in more schedules or hacks, but in a radical shift of mind. And that is where we must go next. There is the thief you invite in. You check your phone one more time, just a quick glance. An hour disappears. You promise yourself 5 more minutes, and suddenly the afternoon is gone. This isn't mere distraction. This is time theft, and the criminal lives in your mind. Seneca called it animus negotiosus, the busy mind that mistakes activity for meaning. But the roots run deeper than ancient Rome, and that is the ancient virus in modern code. We suffer from a primal mismatch. Our brains evolved in a world of scarcity, where conserving energy was survival. Today we drown in abundance, yet our instincts still crave the cheap dopamine of quick wins. The hunter's trap. Scrolling gives the illusion of gathering information. The tribal itch. Notifications mimic ancient social alerts. The predator's pause. Cliffhanger TV episodes exploit our need for closure. Neurologically, we're cavemen with supercomputers, obsessed with now because our ancestors who worried about tomorrow's berries didn't live to pass on their genes. The Stoics made a diagnosis for this. Seneca saw through this 2 millennia before neuroscience. Men are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. The modern twist? We've industrialized this waste. Capitalism's hijack. Your attention is the product, social media, 24/7 work, spiritual bankruptcy. We replaced carpe diem with consume diem. The immortality delusion. Medical advances make death feel optional. Even our language betrays us. We kill time as if it weren't killing us. Here is the existential paradox. Heidegger warned of the they-self, living by others' expectations. Sartre called it bad faith, pretending we have no choices. But Seneca's version cuts deepest. You act like mortals in all that you fear and like immortals in all that you desire. We fear missing a text but postpone life-changing conversations. We stress over deadlines yet waste years in unfulfilling jobs. This isn't time management, it's existential dissonance. Next thing is the shadow economy of attention. Your most precious resource isn't money, it's focus. Yet, the average office worker, 3 hours, 8 minutes of actual productivity per day, Harvard study. The attention black hole, switching tasks costs 23 minutes 15 seconds to refocus, University of California. The hidden tax, decision fatigue depletes willpower by afternoon. We've built a world that runs on distraction dividends. As Seneca observed, no one keeps himself in readiness for death. They all simply procrastinate. So here we stand. Will we keep feeding the beast of busyness? Or confront the terrifying truth that we don't lack time, we lack sovereignty over our minds? The answer lies not in another app or planner, but in what Seneca called vita activa, the art of living deliberately. And that art begins with seeing the invisible chains. Let's dive into the unseen consequences. First is the slow death of presence. You sit down to dinner with loved ones, but your fingers twitch toward your phone. You take a walk in nature, yet mentally replay work emails. This isn't just distraction. It's the colonization of your consciousness. Every stolen moment fragments your attention until you become a stranger in your own life. Seneca saw this coming. Life is divided into 3 periods: past, present, and future. Of these, the present is short, the future is doubtful, the past is certain. Yet we sacrifice the only real moment, the present, to anxiety about the future and regret over the past. Second is the creativity famine. Great ideas need what psychologist Carl Jung called fertile voids, unstructured mental space. But office workers average just 1 hour, 12 minutes of focus time daily, rescue time data. 67% of breakthrough ideas occur during idle moments, University of California. The brain needs 23 minutes to reach deep focus after interruption, University of California, Irvine. We've systemically eliminated the very conditions that foster original thought. As Seneca observed, leisure without study is death, a tomb for the living man. Yet we've created a culture where true leisure, the kind that breeds wisdom, has become nearly extinct. Another one is the neurological tax. Modern time pressure triggers primal stress responses. The amygdala hijack. Constant urgency keeps you in low-grade fight or flight. The dopamine trap. Shallow tasks create addiction to quick completion highs. The attention deficit loop. Multitasking shrinks your brain's gray matter. Stanford study. We've outsourced our cognitive sovereignty to algorithms designed to exploit our biological vulnerabilities. The result? A society of chronically distracted existential tourists, physically present but mentally absent from our own lives. Now comes the relationship recession. Time poverty isn't just personal, it's relational. Parents spend just 37 minutes per day in meaningful conversation with children, U.S. Bureau of Labor statistics. 42% of marriages cite lack of quality time as primary strain, Journal of Marriage and Family. The average person spends 4 years of life looking at screens, McKinsey study. Seneca warned, friendship always benefits, love sometimes injures. Yet we've created a world where we're too busy for deep connection, settling instead for transactional digital pings we mistake for intimacy. Last but not least, the mortality blind spot. Here's the ultimate consequence. We behave as if we'll live forever while wasting days as if they're infinite. This creates what psychologists call the immortality narrative, a subconscious belief that there's always more time to reconcile, dreams can wait indefinitely, hard conversations can be postponed. Yet Seneca's most chilling observation remains. You live as if you were destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your head. Of how much time is already gone by, you take no heed. This blindness doesn't just steal our days, it steals our chance to live deliberately before it's too late. So here is the turning point. The consequences are clear. We've built a world that systematically divorces us from the present moment, from deep relationships, from creative potential, from everything that makes life worth living. But here's the paradox. The more we try to save time, the less we actually possess it. Because true time mastery isn't about efficiency, it's about presence. And that realization changes everything. Now let's dive into the liberation, how to reclaim time. We will learn that through the story from death of Kronos and birth of Kairos. Ancient Greeks had two gods of time, Kronos, clock time, and Kairos, opportune moments. Modernity worships only Kronos, while Seneca's wisdom reveals a radical truth. True time mastery comes when you stop counting minutes and start making minutes count. Your phone pings, a calendar alert chimes, but beneath this surface noise a more profound rhythm pulses. What Jung called psychological time, where hours stretch or compress based on meaning, not minutes. Seneca prescribed a brutal but liberating exercise in Moral Letters to Lucilius. The Life Inventory. Catalog how you've spent the past month in 5 categories: necessities, sleep, meals, obligations, work, chores, distractions, scrolling, worrying, growth, learning, creating, joy, connection, wonder. The mortality math. Calculate your remaining probable lifespan, use actuarial tables. Subtract time for necessities and obligations. What remains is your true living hours, often shockingly few. You will hear many people saying, "When I'm 50, I'll retire. When I'm 60, I'll take up music." But what guarantee do you have of living so long? Seneca. What are the 3 pillars of temporal freedom? First, the art of strategic neglect. Identify the trivial many consuming 80% of your time. Pareto principle. Practice deliberate disengagement from non-essentials. As Seneca wrote, "No person hands out their money to passers-by, but to how many do you hand out your life?" Second, the depth dividend. Single tasking increases output quality by 500%. University of London. Implement Seneca hours. 90-minute undisturbed blocks for priority work. Life is long if you know how to use it, becomes tangible when you stop fracturing attention. Third, the memento mori practice. Keep a physical hourglass on your desk as a mortality reminder. Start meetings by stating, "Let's remember this time is finite." End each day with Seneca's question, "What essential thing did I postpone today?" More research reveals removing social media apps increases well-being equivalent to a $10,000 raise, MIT. 72% of creative insights occur during tech-free activities, University of Kansas. Intermittent digital fasting rebuilds attention spans in 28 days. Seneca's solution? Retire into yourself as much as possible. Modern translation. Schedule regular analog intervals where you exist beyond the algorithmic feed. How to make the time alchemy framework. Convert wasted moments, commutes, cues into micro-learning sessions. Compound small daily investments. 30 minutes writing, reading, creating. Condense obligations through ruthless prioritization. Cherish unstructured time as sacred space for emergence. No one will bring back the years. No one will restore you to yourself. Life will follow the path it began to take and will neither reverse nor check its course. Seneca. So this is your invitation to revolt. This isn't time management. It's conscious existence. The modern world wants you distracted because a distracted life is an unconscious one. But you now hold Seneca's keys. See time as your only non-renewable resource. Measure life in meaning, not minutes. Let mortality sharpen rather than paralyze. The revolution begins not with doing more, but being more with each irreplaceable moment. This is the ultimate truth, the Hourglass Revelation. You stand barefoot on cool marble holding an ancient timepiece. The sand slips through with terrifying indifference. Then comes the epiphany. You are not holding time. You are time. Every grain is a breath you'll never recover. A moment that could have been love or art or quiet wonder, now gone forever. Seneca's most devastating insight wasn't about managing hours. It was about recognizing you are dying every day you call living. Modern physics confirms what Stoics intuited. Time isn't linear but relational. Your experience of it depends entirely on what you choose to relate to. Clock time, chronos, is the shallow measurement. Soul time, kairos, is the depth of engagement. Legacy time, ion, is what echoes after you're gone. The tragedy? Most live exclusively in chronos while starving for kairos, never considering ion. As Seneca lamented, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful. Finally, the final calculation. Consider two lives. The executive who worked 80-hour weeks, retired at 65 and died at 67, having never truly lived. The artist who died at 30 but left works that speak across centuries. Both had the same amount of time, only the depth of presence differed. This is Seneca's ultimate teaching. Time's value isn't in duration but in density. A single fully lived hour contains more life than years of half-sleep. So ask yourself these questions daily. If today repeated endlessly, would I be satisfied? What will my last self wish I had done now? Am I trading time for things that outlast it? The answers reveal whether you're spending time or investing it. As neuroscientist David Eagleman found, time's passage accelerates when nothing novel occurs. Routine is literal time compression. Here's the secret the productivity gurus miss. You already have all the time there is. The problem isn't quantity but quality of attention. When Seneca advised omni aetati tempus est, he meant every age contains its own eternity, if you know how to inhabit it fully. Modern research validates this. Flow states slow perceived time. Novel experiences create time landmarks that stretch memory. Present moment awareness thickens temporal perception. So as your imaginary hourglass empties, consider Seneca's final challenge. You must match time's swiftness with your speed in using it. The day you stop racing, you'll finally arrive. This isn't about doing more. It's about being more intensely human with each fleeting second. To master time isn't to control it, but to merge with its flow so completely that every moment becomes a universe. Your fingers unclench. The hourglass shatters. The sand becomes stardust. You understand at last. Time was never the enemy, only your resistance to fully inhabiting it. As Seneca wrote in his final letter, life, if well lived, is long enough. The ultimate mastery? Recognizing you've always held eternity in your palm, one present moment at a time. Now, this now is all there ever was or will be. The rest is commentary.